Oh, hi there. Why? Anyway, I'm quite frankly tired of the sequels that keep popping in week in and week out in the Indian industry. Some are good, some are bad, and some are just like food poisoning. But the ones that often stick with me are the disappointments. The ones that I was excited to watch, hyped to see, and just get underwhelmed. So today, my Andi Bandi Shundis, I will talk about 4 disappointing sequels that broke my heart. Indian 2 was a huge film that had huge expectations. I mean, Kamal Hassan returning to collaborate with Shankar and, bringing back Shankar into the 21st century post 2.0. And what better way to make a comeback than with a sequel to one of his best films, Indian. The problem I have with Shankar, and at least with his modern era of his career, is that his direction feels incredibly outdated. It just feels like he is doing random shit for the sake of it. It's like just to be added because of his visionary image that he has now gotten, that he just has to make these choices in order to justify it. The reason it worked before was that it was often necessary to tell his films, and if not, it was something that Indian audiences had not seen before. For example, in the first Indian, there was a lot of makeup and prosthetics required for Kamal Hassan's aging in this role, and that was important. Or for the significant amount of CGI used in Indiran or robot in order to fulfill his vision. They still had a purpose, but as an audience in 2026, or at least during the time of Indian 2, what we watch had expanded significantly. Sort of what Shankar may try to bring has already been seen. This outdated direction style would have been doable, but oh my god, the film is so tutty, it genuinely pisses me off.
सर ये तो टट्टी है. Thank you.
First of all, they had a 250 to 300 crore budget, yet the makeup and prosthetics and general visual effects look worse than the first one. The visualization of social media and how virality happens is so boomer coded that it will fry your brain as a Gen Z individual. Screw that, as any individual, just makes no sense. Some of the sequences in the name of Varma Kalai are so insane and stupid, it makes no sense as to how they believe that we could consume this Indian poo. I mean, seriously, they made Gulshan Grover just from one into, well, I don't even know, honestly, what it was supposed to be. I'm assuming like an effeminate man. I'm not even sure. The reason it hurts me is because Shankar's films have been a part of my childhood, especially Robot. I mean, that chain fighting sequence, I've watched that at least 1 billion times and even tried to do that flippy shit. But I didn't understand the concept of a safety harness and bad stuff happened. But anyway, after watching something like Indian 2, which had all the resources and potential, especially with a visionary director, to still create such a piece of garbage is saddening. So World War II is one of the most recent examples of how more money does not mean greater quality. The problem with this film and the wider spy universe overall is that they all feel the exact same. They are spy films on paper, but half the time they just become commercials for the foreign locations they shoot in, often for bikini scenes or just stupid-ass songs.
Sale. Get up to 25% off on everything.
I love Hrithik Roshan and I've always rooted for him as an actor because he is the total package. I mean, I even watched Vikram Vedha in theaters because Hrithik Roshan did something just unique and different. But War 2 is objectively such a terrible espionage film that it makes you question whether the money and talent was even worth just spending on this. Like, it was a sequel to a massive film, part of the spy universe, and even had a face-off between Hrithik Roshan and Junior NTR, who I believe is an incredibly good commercial talent. But Ayan Mukherjee's direction, the story, and its absolutely terrible writing and the absolute lack of distinct qualities of this film makes it essentially the Netflix of universes. Basically ambient viewing. But with War 2, it is worse because it's supposed to take it seriously while Junior and NTR and they're getting their bromance on. And calling Kabir Kabbu. What is Kabbu? You cannot be calling Ritik Kabbu. He's Ritik. It's like calling SRK Suji. Like, it's just that all the aura that they've attained or throughout their career just diminishes out of saying Kabbu. The reason this hurts more is largely because of the potential it held. A unique cast, big budget, and a sequel to what I felt was a fun time at the movies. But instead we got Kabbu. Now, Pushpa 2, The Rule, is an odd case among the films that I'm going to be mentioning in this film because it's straight up one of the most successful single films in history. This made 1,800 crores and made most of it from the Hindi market, which is rarely seen for a Telugu main film. That's the power of what a Rage Pushpa Part 1 became, which personally was a film I, for the most part, enjoyed. Pushpa 2, though, became such a mishmash of concepts and ideas that it becomes overwhelming and nothing at the same time. Everything just feels like the creators thought about how they could one-up the previous sequence in Pushpa The Rise, especially in the action department, as, you know, more closely the climax. Because in that, Allu Arjun is less Pushpa and more a cheetah in the wild, and not in a good way. Nothing was interesting, the songs were not great, the characters were bland, and the cliffhanger of Pushpa 1 aiming at the ego battle that Bhanwar Singh Shekhawat played by Fafa and Pushpa just never happens. Well, it does in the interval portion a little bit, which was entertaining, but that's kind of it. The main reason this disappoints is the potential Sukumar, the writer and director, possesses. I watched Rangasthalam, a film that he made prior to this after watching the first Pushpa starring Ramcharan, which was basically Peddi, but it was actually good. That film was so entertaining and heartwarming and genuinely made you feel for the characters. Pushpa tried that but failed. There was the mother angle, but it was barely used and served no purpose behind the film, beyond the backstory behind why Allu Arjun does the arm shit, the stuff. Pushpa 2 was a complete letdown of what it was meant to be by becoming so over the top that it takes you just out of it entirely. I am so not excited for Pushpa 3, The Rampage. Now, my final film is honestly the one that breaks my heart the most. I watched Awarapan 2 on Tuesday, and a few films have broken my heart as much as this one has. My cousin had initially told me about the first Awarapan and how it was essentially the Sayara of his generation. For the Dil Toda Ashiks type shit. I watched the film, and if you want my point of view, watch my previous video, but it was an absolutely beautiful film with an absolute beast of a main lead. Imran Hashmi as Shivam was just so powerful and restrained that I wanted to see his rage in the second one. I was hyped for Awarapan 2, and the promo songs got even more hyped. So I went with my entire family to watch this, and after leaving the theater, I found out that something that I'd never wanted to believe. Awarapan 2 is a nostalgic cash grab. Everything that made the first one so beautiful and emotional for many of us, myself included, was replaced by nostalgia bait. There was so much potential because Imran Hashmi, just like in the first one, absolutely carries this film and smashes, showing Shivan's angst and rage. He's the only reason why the film is even tolerable. But what surrounds him is a weak villain, cast, story, and direction. It shows how much this film relies on reminding you that this is a continuation of Awarapan. It is essential that whenever something starts to get boring, they just stop playing To Fir Aao and Tera Mera Rishta. The characters are boring. The villain is just a generic cokehead with no actual villainous traits. The action is just mid and half the time incoherent. This is the entire film. And that is what hurts me the most because they could have made a good film. They had 20 years to produce a good script. It came out in 2007. Come on, man. But unfortunately, Awarapan 2 is an incredibly underwhelming mess. There are some good moments, especially in the second half, but it's definitely not enough to make the film feel anything less than a betrayal of everything that the first film stood for. Awarapan 2 is not only a poor film, but also a stain on the first film's cult classic status. And the fact that they've shown that they may be making a sequel just confirms my worst fears. Well, hey guys, you reached the end of the video. One day we can hopefully start relying less on franchises and sequels and remakes and all that jazz and make films that the audiences actually want, or at the very least something that is creative beyond making Dhamal 5. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I want to reach 100 subscribers by the end of the year, so please join me and become one of my Andi Bandi Shundis. Comment down below and tell me which films have disappointed you the most, and if you watch Awarapan 2, tell me how you felt about it. As always, I will continue making these videos for your entertainment and my experience. Thanks for watching, goodbye, and we shall meet when I go to watch War 3, Labubu Returns.
But wait! There's more!